So good afternoon everybody, really nice to see you, really glad that you could join and you found the time to come onto your mat. So if you could start to put yourself in a shape which you feel is going to be beneficial for you, make sure perhaps also that you have your cushions, you have a blanket, and you could also have a squidgy ball that we have been using in practice sometimes as well, half deflated football, but that's optional. So starting to come onto the mat, having hopefully found a place that's comfortable and quiet for you to really indulge in this next hour or so. Going to keep it to an hour's practice. So making yourself comfortable in your Shavasana, whether that be a traditional Shavasana with arms and legs away from each other, like a little starfish, loosening the ankles, having the arms away from the body. If you're coming into a goddess pose, drawing the soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to just fall to the sides of the body and adjusting how far the feet need to be away towards the end of the mat or that little bit further up, entirely up to you. You can also float the arms behind you in a cactus. This is really lovely, a hip opener and a wonderful shoulder opener. But for those that are in a traditional Shavasana, you may like to tuck your shoulder blades a little bit closer together. This is going to open your heart center and it's going to lower any tension, release any tension that you might have in your shoulders. You may also like to inhale and just hover your hips a couple of millimeters off the floor. This is just going to give you a nice little release and a total sort of contrast between tightening and relaxation as you start to enter into your Shavasana. So really starting to switch off, trying to notice things about the body, any new injuries you've picked up. Perhaps you've not been moving around as much at this point in time for reasons that are very obvious. And also just starting to really notice any areas of tightness and any blockages. And just starting to have that conversation with the body as you quieten the chatter in your head. So as you're coming into your Shavasana and settling into your Shavasana, just knowing that the advantages and the benefits that you're going to gain through a yoga practice really are incredible. So remember to be going at your own pace. If something doesn't feel right, just back off your pose completely. And each time you come to practice, you're going to feel completely different. We are all organic beings. We respond to our environment, the light, the temperature, hydration, things we put in our body and the food we put in our body. So have that awareness of accepting of how the body is and where it's at today. So relaxing the face. Really noticing how the body is responding to breath. As you're filling all the way up to the top of the lungs and then completely exhaling and emptying the lungs. Noticing subtleties about the body, breathing is something that we completely take for granted. So just allowing everything to just be. Being the observer of your thoughts, being non-reactionary, and knowing throughout your practice, we're going to cultivate that awareness of mindfulness. Perhaps this is going to lead you to be that little bit more mindful and be able to switch off. Switching off is very busy, it's very hard for busy people. We have a lot of nervous energy going around pick up on those vibrations, knowing throughout your practice you're going to have an awareness of your body, your dominant side, your recessive side, but hopefully you're going to bring and cultivate balance throughout the body. We're also going to notice our breath, your breath as a barometer. So just really allowing the breath to flow freely throughout the body. So let's allow the chime now to simply vibrate and flow over and through our bodies. Slowly, slowly start moving fingers and toes. So perhaps if you stayed and remained in a goddess pose, now bring the knees together, tuck the knees into the belly and allow the legs to just fall to the edges of your mat. But if you're working with a niggly back, keep a bend in your legs. So starting to move fingers and toes, ankles and wrists, perhaps rotating them, just getting that synovial fluid. Notice clunks and clicks in the wrist, in the fingers and the ankles. And when you're ready, just come back to still. So we're now going to inhale. As we exhale, we're just going to take a very gentle turn of the head to the right side of the room. Just very gently turning that head. Inhale, come back to centre. Exhale, taking that turn of the head to the left-hand side. It doesn't matter whether you get mixed up with your left and right. I do quite often. But it's just as long as you work both sides of the body, that's what's really, really important. So now, with an inhalation, let's start to draw the legs together, and then let's start to float the arms behind, remembering to keep a bend in the legs if you are working with a sensitive back. So really reaching now, so really sort of shuffling the buttock a little bit further along the mat, walking the shoulder blades up to the top, and really reaching, really sort of releasing, realigning and sending space into your spine. So now with an inhalation and an exhalation, let's start to bring the hands into a Kesapana. Let's reach, let's breathe in, let's inhale, let's exhale, let's just take a little shape now, a little Bananasana shape over to the right side. So we're really opening the left side of the body and we're really getting this wonderful compression on the right. As we inhale, come back to centre, so realign, walk the shoulder blades up, tuck the buttocks down and really reach. Inhale, fill to the top. Exhale, just taking that little lean now in our Bananasana onto the left side of the ribs. So we're really opening the ribs, the intercostal muscles, feel that stretch. Inhale, exhale. Let's come back to centre. So we're going to inhale now, we're going to draw the knees towards the belly. Really tucking tight like a little coconut, maybe take the hands underneath the feet if you can, raising the head off the mat. Let's inhale, let's exhale. So take the arms out to the side. We're going to allow the legs to come onto the floor, slightly wider than hips. And we're just going to start to windscreen wipe the legs. So we're going to inhale, allow the knees and the legs to fall comfortably. Take the gaze to the left. Inhale, knees back to centre. Exhale, knees to the opposite side, and then come back to centre. So let's just get those legs working very gently. As they're falling to one side, we're gazing over to the other. And then let's just continue. So gazing to the right, knees to the left, inhale, exhale, vice versa. So just really sort of feeling that connection with the quads. We're getting a gentle twist. And just continuing very, very gently. And let's bring the legs back to centre. So we're now going to start to draw the legs once again, draw the knees in, and I want you to come onto the forearms. And I just want you to start to just cycling the legs, just getting a feeling of where you're at. Just stretching the legs. Hands are on the hips. And then just very gently lowering down onto your mat. Take the arms out to the side. And I just want you to start to shake the legs. So we're just really waking ourselves up. So you can sort of do it simultaneously, or one leg can, we're just waking everything up. We're just really getting that awareness of the legs. And then I want you to start to shake the wrists and the hands. So we look a bit crazy right now, but that's absolutely fine. And then just slowing that down. Putting the hands down to the side, and then just really feel that energy and that heat you've created in the legs. My legs feel really alive now, just from simply shaking them. So now we're just going to simply inhale. We're going to exhale, draw the knees in tightly. Exhale, just allow both legs to fall onto the mat. We're now going to inhale, we're going to exhale, we're going to come into our upside pigeon on the right side. So we're just grabbing hold of this foot, interlacing the hands, and just flexing that right foot to make sure that we're not sort of wrenching the outside of the ankle. So try and draw the knee and open that hip as best you can. So there's a couple of the modifications here. Some of you might like to keep this left knee just falling over. You can support it with a cushion. Some of you might want something a bit stronger, and you might want to outstretch the leg. And some of you might like to reach this left leg up, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. So just do whatever you feel, so you can either keep this pose static, or you can add a little bit more energy by just raising this leg up, flexing the left leg, and pointing as you come down. Head can be on the mat, or you can allow the head to just simply come off the mat, whichever you feel is best for you. So I'm going to release my head down onto the mat now. So now I'm going to raise this left leg, and I'm going to come into a number 4. So I'm now going to take the arms onto the mat and just grab a hold. So I'm going to do some leg raises. We're going to do some leg raises. So I'm going to inhale, point and place. So keeping the leg crossed on this right side. So we're going to flex, inhale, raising, pointing and placing. So inhaling, exhale, point and place. So we're really working this is core awakening, really working the core. Take it where you need to take it, and if it's too intense, stay in your number 4, and you can just raise your leg and foot tap. If you're working with a sensitive back, you can just continue to bend the knee and foot tap. So everybody else, we're going to work at our own rate, at our own pace. So really flexing the foot, feeling that connection with the hamstrings as you point and place. Noticing the breath, keeping the breath even with your inhalations and your exhalations. So twice more, we're going to inhale, exhale. Last time, inhaling, exhale, point and place. So we're going to come into our twist. So our leg is already set up here, our right leg is crossed over. We're going to inhale, we're going to reach up with this left hand. Exhale, float this left hand onto the right leg, and then we're just going to ease our way into the twist that we need. We're going to extend the right arm, and then we're going to gaze over to the right while this right leg is leaning over to the left. If you want something a little bit stronger, you're going to ease the shoulder to the edge of the mat. This is going to allow you to go into a deeper twist. So notice the breath. Supreme organs are getting a really wonderful massage. Encouraging normal rotation of the spine, and we're getting a wonderful shoulder stretch too. So let's inhale, let's exhale, let's uncross this right leg, let's draw both knees into the chest, little coconut, simply a little release. As we inhale, exhale, allow the right leg to come down to the floor, bent leg to start with, and then coming into your upside down pigeon on this left side. So again, notice differences between one side and the other. If it's comfortable, you can put a cushion under your head if you feel that's going to aid you sort of coming into this pose. So your right knee can be open like so. Active shoulders and arms, allow the knee to just fall down comfortably, and the edge of the foot should just be coming that little bit higher up the torso. So some people might want to make adjustments here. You're perfectly fine to stay here with a cushion supported under this leg. Some of you might want to outstretch your right leg, and some of you might want something slightly stronger. So what you may like to do is, while you're in your pigeon pose, remember to keep the foot flexed, don't wrench the ankle. You might want to inhale, flex, exhale, and down. Inhale, flex, point and place. Inhaling, exhale, point and place. Inhaling, point and place. So remember to use the breath. Remember, you can always come out of the pose at any time. And some of you may just be keeping in a very still pigeon pose. So I'm just going to do a few more now. So again, take it to where you need to take it. We're all different. We're all going to take different things from our yoga. We all need different things. So 2 more. And we're going to raise this leg now. We're going to come into the number 4. So we're crossing this leg over. We're now going to take the arms long. And remember, when you do your leg raises, you've got an option to keep this leg straight and point, or you can foot tap if you're working with a sensitive back, or just stay in number 4 if you feel that's what you need today. So we really are working the core. Remember to tilt the pelvis, so we're really protecting our back. So we're going to inhale now. We're going to point and place. Breathing in, flexing. Exhaling, pointing and placing. So just doing the amount of movement that you need today, and that may well be very different from the movement that you needed the day before. So let the breath guide you, be your barometer. If you're struggling to come to breath, or you can't catch your breath, perhaps that's an indication to just simply back off your pose. And remember, you have that option to bend the knee and just foot tap if you really do feel that this is not working for you. So just a few more now as we flex, have that connection with the Achilles tendon. So remember, our legs are going to be like Harry Potter wands. They've got energy flying out of the toes. So last one, I'm going to lower this leg down, this right leg. I'm already set up for a twist. So the left leg is going to come over. I'm going to shuffle perhaps a little bit more onto the mat. I'm going to inhale. I'm going to inhale. Exhale. I'm just going to lower this right hand on the left leg. I'm going to take the left hand out to the side and then I'm going to gauge the twist that I need. So remember, listening into the body. If you're menstruating, you're not going so deep in your twist. So gazing over the left, towards the left, easing this left leg to the right and just gazing towards the left hand. If you want something deeper, shuffle the shoulder towards the edge of the mat and it's going to allow you to go into a deeper twist. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's release this leg. Draw the right leg and left leg into the belly and let's just come into a happy baby pose. So our happy baby pose, we're flexing the feet, spread the toes, reach with the inner arches, and you may indeed want to start rocking from side to side. So we've already done our pigeon poses on both sides, active arms, getting a really nice massage over the kidneys and the adrenals, the back of the heads and also the back of the lungs. So when you're ready, let's bring the legs together, tuck in tight, and then let's just simply stretch the legs to the sky. Let's walk up, let's get a nice hamstring stretch. Just really, really stretching. Draw the belly in. We're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to release. We're going to take the right leg over the left. We're going to inhale, and we're just going to grab the left leg, draw in, just get that nice stretch, flex the feet. Inhale, exhale, release. So keeping the legs as they are. Taking the left leg now over the right. Inhale. Just grabbing hold of the leg that's underneath that right leg and stretching. Draw the belly in. Inhale. Exhale. So keeping legs as they are now. One more last stretch, reaching up to the ankles. Inhale, exhale. Drawing the knees into the belly. So let's start to rock and roll now, gently, to start with. Backwards and forwards, sort of massaging the spine, and then maybe starting to allow the knees to fall, and just coming to something a little bit more active if you wish. Then some of you might like to go into a halasana where you're holding onto the ankles or the backs of the legs. You can have a little bend in them if you wish, but remembering to resist, looking to left or right. And then some of you may want to come into a cosmic egg where the knees are on the eyebrows and the knees are just simply falling to the sides of the ears. So you might just want to continue rocking and rolling. And then when you're ready in your own time, just coming to centre. So really, really sitting up tall. So remembering our posture, reaching through crown, reaching through sternum, just really allowing the shoulders to fall. So we're just going to start to sway the arms now. We're going to open the side body. So we're going to sway each arm from side to side. So we're going to reach over, we're going to lift up, reach as far as you can with that left, coming onto the forearm maybe, and vice versa. Inhaling and exhaling. So just really notice how the hips and the knees are feeling. Just getting a really nice sort of swaying motion. Reaching tall, opening the rib cage on either side. And just allowing those lungs to free float. So last time on either side. Coming back up to centre, so let's inhale. Inhale, exhale, come down through Anjali Mudra. Interlace the hands, get a nice flow going forward. Keep the sit bones on the floor, gaze to the feet. Inhale, exhale, take the arms behind, feel supported as we gaze towards the sky. Inhale, exhale, come back to centre. So taking the opposite leg in front. Always remembering to sit tall, really sort of sitting tall, reaching through that crown. So we're going to start with the left hand to support now. We're going to inhale and we're just going to start to reach on either side, just really reaching, keeping the arms straight, or you can take a little bend into the forearms if you wish. So it's almost like we're swaying and just really inviting movement, particularly in the intercostal muscles and the shoulder. So notice which side is more challenging for you. Come back to centre. So let's bring the arms up. Inhale. Big inhalation. Come down through a strong Anjali Mudra. Feel the biceps sort of igniting and the pectoral muscles igniting. Inhale, let's reach forward. Take the gaze to the floor. Inhale, exhale, arms behind. Let's take the gaze up to the sky. Really open, feel supported with the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, come back to centre. So let's sit tall. So we're now going to simply send our right leg at an angle. Draw the left knee towards the groin, flex the foot, so we're just get that really nice connection. Sit tall, I'm just going to start to lean, and just hold on to the foot. You can always use a strap or a tie or a belt. So we're now going to inhale with our left arm, exhale, so we're going to just sweep the arm all the way forward, all the way around as we inhale, exhale, sweeping the hand all the way forward, feel that connection in the hamstrings, shoulder open, inhale, exhale, sweeping that hand all the way around, inhale, exhale. Last time, inhaling, take the gaze to the hand if you wish, and then roll that hand round. So we're now going to inhale. We're going to exhale, we're going to turn, and we're just going to take a really nice leg stretch. So we're really sort of drawing in, draw the belly in, gaze to the foot, feel that hamstring stretch. Last breath here. Let's inhale. Come back to centre, let's inhale, raise. Come down through Anjali Mudra. Allow the hands to just walk forward, so you can keep the hands flat or you can come onto the forearms. Try and keep the sit bone on the right side on the mat. We're going to get a deeper stretch. If we lift that up, we're cheating a little bit. I know it's tempting. 2 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So let's come back to centre. Let's realign. Let's readjust as we now draw our right leg in. We're going to send the left leg out. So again, notice differences immediately between one side and the other. So just stretching that leg, reaching forward to this left foot, draw the belly in, and we're now going to inhale, we're going to reach up, exhale, we're going to float this hand all the way around, so we're going to inhale again, reach, take the gaze to this hand, exhale, drawing forward, sort of making that circular move on the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Got some really nice hamstring stretch going on. Really working that shoulder. We're drawing the belly in. Inhale. Exhale. Try some more inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. So we're going to inhale now. We're going to turn to face our foot as we reach our arm up. We're going to inhale, reach, exhale, fold forward. So take the foot wherever you need to hold on to this foot. Have a strap, have a belt. Draw the belly in. Even take a bend in the knee if you are working with tight hamstrings. So just really easing in. Take it to your edge. No pose should ever be painful. Use the breath. Last breath here. Inhale. Exhale, let's come back to centre. Square the hips, square the shoulders as we inhale. Reach, come down through Anjali Mudra. And let's just start to walk our hands forward. So you've always got an option. If your hamstrings are tight, you can just bow your head. If you want something deeper, stronger, walk the hands forward, keep the arms straight, or again, if you want something stronger, come onto the forearms, keep this foot flexed. Now just sort of gauge where you need to be. Try and resist lifting the sit bone up, it's very tempting. Keep it onto the mat so we get that deeper engagement in and we just get a deeper stretch here. So 2 more breaths here. Remember to back off if something doesn't feel right. Inhale. Start to come back to centre. Sit tall, take the arms behind. Inhale. Take the gaze behind. So remember to breathe when you're in a reclining pose. Sometimes it's easy to breath hold. Inhale. Exhale, come back to centre. So bring both legs together now. Give them a little tap. Slot the hands underneath. Sit tall in our staff pose. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. So we're now going to inhale. We're going to bring the legs in together. We're going to cross the right leg over the left. Grab a hold and just have a little bit of fun. So flex the feet to protect your ankles. And we're just going to start to kick away. So draw the belly in, see how high you can get the legs. Make sure there's nothing behind you because you might flip back. Let's cross that leg over, so left leg over right or vice versa if you've gone the other way before. Inhaling again, work out the centre of balance on the sit bones as you just start to reach and stretch. So it's a wonderful strap to the back body, stretching the arms, sort of having a conversation with the hamstrings. Inhale, exhale. Allow the legs to cross now. Roll over onto the ankles and come into a tabletop. So we're now going to come into our spinal balancing. So I want you to just line up the left leg and the centre of the mat. Have the palms spread. Make a connection with the whole of the palm of the hand, fingers spread, facing front. So we're now going to send the right leg away. We're going to come into our spinal balancing. So imagine you're supporting a wall. Internally rotate your right leg. And we're going to shoot this left arm past the ear. So we're now going to start to draw the fist and the knee in simultaneously. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, away. Inhale. Exhale, away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So we're now going to bring this left hand down, draw the right knee back onto the mat, and we're just going to start to hip open with this right leg. So we're going to inhale, raise your right leg, and lowering down. So inhaling, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. So 3 more, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale, inhale, and exhale. Last one, inhale, and exhale. So again, we're going to come back to our spinal balancing, so shooting the left arm past the ear and really reaching back with that right leg. So we're now going to start to bend this back leg. We're going to take a hold with the left hand and we're just going to start to kick away comfortably. So take it to your edge. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Fabulous shoulder opener, quad stretch. Keep breathing. Inhale, exhale. So let's come back once again to spinal balancing, so reaching out, internally rotating that thigh. So draw the belly in. Imagine the spine is trying to meet with the belly button, with the navel. Let's come into our spinal, well, we're still doing our spinal sort of core strengthening, but we're also going to do a little bit of an awkward aeroplane. So keep breathing, don't hold the breath. Inhale, exhale, so come back to spinal balancing. Inhale, exhale. Let's just come into a little child's pose, so take the arms behind, knees together. You can put a cushion or something under your head or make it with your fists if you're feeling a little bit claustrophobic. Rest the hands on the back of the lower part of the back, and then if you wish you can just take a shoulder stretch if you wish. If that's what you feel you need. Inhale, exhale, releasing the hands down. So placing the hands sort of in line with the shoulders. Let's come back into our tabletop. So again, checking the alignment of this leg on the right side. Sort of imagine it's on an imaginary line, fingers spread, shoulders above the wrists, and then we're going to send the left leg all the way to the back. So again, imagine you're supporting a wall. Internally rotate your thigh as you're going to shoot the right hand now past the ear. So draw the belly in. This is really fabulous sort of core work. As we inhale, we're going to draw in. Exhale, send away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhaling. Exhale. So don't compromise the pose. Come back to your spinal balancing. So some of us might like to simply bend the leg. Some of you might want to grab a hold of the ankle. So realign, readjust, and then just sort of kick back. It's not for everybody, so take it where you need to take it. Fabulous shoulder opener. Quad stretch on the left. Keep breathing, don't breath hold. Inhale. Exhale, come back to your spinal balancing. So we're now going to come into our awkward aeroplane where the left hand goes to the left side of the room, right hand goes to right side of the room, left leg to the left. Keep breathing, use that core, use your breath. Inhale, exhale, back to spinal balancing. So again, internally rotate that thigh. Inhale, exhale. Coming back to your tabletop. And let's bring the butt all the way down to the backs of the heels. And again, allow the head
to release. So hands now can be resting on the feet. You can interlace your hands and have them on the base of the spine. And if you want, you can just take a little shoulder stretch. It's up to you. You don't have to interlace the hands. They can just be sort of free, floating away from the body if you wish. Let's inhale. Let's exhale, let's release. So let's now come into our tabletop. So we're going to curl the toes. In fact, no, before we do that, I just want you to make some nice round movements with the hips. So bring the hips all the way down to the heels, just making some really nice movement in the shoulders, in the hips. Let breath and movement reflect. And then when you've done a few on one side, just start to take that movement in the opposite direction. So really wonderful movement in the hips, in the shoulders, and of course in the wrists too. So coming back now to our tabletop, just walk those hands a little bit further in front, curl the toes, and we're going to push back now into our down dog. So just start to walk your dog. Just allowing either heel to lower onto your mat. And then when you're ready, in your own time, just come into a steady down dog. So let's remind ourselves of down dog. Fingers are spread, facing front. Internally rotate the triceps towards heart. Sink with the head and imagine you're looking like an inverted V. So reach with the sit bones. If it's really challenging for you, you can, in the hamstrings, you can always take a little bend in the knees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to inhale, we're going to float forward, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, push back into your down dog. Inhale, float forward, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, push back into down dog. Inhale, exhale, push back into down dog. So, we need to get to the front of the mat. So we're going to gaze to the front of the mat, we're going to bend the knees and we're going to sort of leapfrog. If you can't do that, lift one leg up and step one leg through. So inhale, exhale, float to the front of the mat, come into your forward fold, have the feet slightly apart and have the weight in the balls of the feet. Draw the belly in, fold forward. So just taking the hands now behind the ankles and just sort of seeing how that feels for you. Two more breaths here. Remember to have the weight in the balls of the feet, not in the heels. Some of you might want to place the wrists underneath the feet. It's entirely up to you. And then when you're ready, just place the hands on the ankles. We're going to start to glide the hands just below the knees. Take the gaze forward. Inhale, exhale. Let's glide the hands all the way back down again. Forward fold. Inhale. Let's glide the hands all the way up the fronts of the legs. And let's come back, or let's come into our first Tadasana pose. So with your Tadasana, we're standing beautifully straight. We're reaching through the crown, through the sternum. Arms are really dynamically turned on. So we're now going to step onto the ball of the right foot and we're going to swing our arms out in front at the same time. So let's inhale, exhale, so you're going to feel that way back with that right foot. Check the alignment of that front knee, reach dynamically with the arms, have the shoulders and the hips facing front. As we inhale, exhale, so we're going to push the arms all the way down. Swan dive, come all the way up. So inhaling, exhaling, inhale.
Check the alignment of that knee. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhaling. And exhale. So bringing your hands now into palms together, come into a prayer. We're now going to inhale. Exhale, take the right elbow and we're just going to come across this left leg and we're going to lower down onto the mat with the heel on that back foot. So I'll show you what this looks like from the side. So you can just start to lower down with that heel. Some of you might want to open your twist, but some of you might want to stay in a traditional prayer. So notice the breath, beautiful twisting pose, shoulder opener, and a hamstring stretch. We're now going to inhale, exhale, come back to centre, allow the hands to come onto the mat, coil this left leg in, and then let's just step back, let's just pedal that out. And let's come back to a steady down dog. So again, realigning, readjusting. So we now need to jump to the front of the mat or step. So we're going to start to bend the knees, take the gaze forward, inhale, exhale, pounce forward, come back into your Tadasana. So standing really tall, shoulders away from the ears, reach through the crown, inhale. Exhale, we're going to step back with the left. So really sort of get the foundations right as you're coming into this pose. We're going to reach up to the sky. We're now going to inhale. Before we start, making sure the shoulders and the hips are forward. So we're going to inhale. Exhale, swan dive the arms down, sort of circle them all the way back to the front. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So last time, inhaling. Exhale. Let's bring the hands all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, come down through Anjali Mudra. We're now going to take the left elbow, we're going to cross it over and come into our prayer twist. So move around, make the adjustments that you need to make. Lowering this back heel down. And some of you might like to open your prayer. It's entirely up to you. Draw the shoulder back on that right side and lower down with the heel on that left leg. Let's inhale. Let's exhale. Let's come back to centre. We're now going to place the hands on the front of the mat. Coil your right leg in. Send that back and let's come back to our down dog. So fingers are spread, triceps towards the heart, and just reach back with the sit bones. So again, looking like an inverted V. Let's inhale. Let's bend the knees. So we're now going to pounce forward. So inhale. Exhale, jump forward. Let's come into our forward fold. Hands onto the ankles. Let's inhale. Gaze to the front. Draw the shoulders back from the ears. Feel that hamstring stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Forward fold. And start to come all the way up. arms all the way up. Inhale, exhale. Coming down through your Anjali Mudra. And let's come to a balancing pose. So with our balancing pose, we need to really focus on something that's caught our eye in the room. You might find balancing poses a bit tricky. There's a lot going on, as we all know at the moment. So we're going to, you might want to be on a hard surface. I've got 2 mats here, so it's a bit tricky. So we're going to ground in now through this left foot. We're going to come into our number 4, so we're going to inhale, exhale. I want you to really sort of bend this leg now. I want you to stick your bottom out, and I want you to bring your hands into a prayer. So feel your way, breath is calm. Some of you might want to lower the hands onto the mat. It's entirely up to you, it's a suggestion, nothing else. So really keeping that breath calm. Really ignite the hands together, it will help with the balance. Let's inhale. Let's start to come out of our pose. And I just want you to move the hips from side to side. As we then come back to centre. So we're now going to start to, we're switching that sort of grounding now to the right leg. Again, point of focus, breath. Lift the toes, place them down. So we're really rooting down into the earth. We're going to inhale, we're going to bend our right leg, and we're going to start to place this left leg in position, flex the foot, lift the toes on the right side and really sort of gripping. So coming into your prayer, really stick your bottom out, push the palms together, and some of you might like to lower the hands, it's only a suggestion, it's not for everybody. Keep the breath steady. Notice how one side is that little bit more challenging than the other. Maybe going a little bit deeper with that bend of the right leg. And then just when you're ready in your own time, start to make your way up ever so slowly, standing tall, releasing that leg, and then just really sort of allowing the hips to become quite loose. So let's come back onto the centre of our mat now. Let's inhale. Let's reach up to the sky. Inhale, exhale. Come down through our Anjali Mudra. Place the hands on your thighs. Inhale, exhale. Make your way all the way down. Hands sort of coming onto the ankles, have the weight in the front of the feet. Inhale, hands gliding up below the knees. Let's come to gazing pose. Draw the shoulders back, now straight back. Inhale. Exhale. So as we start to make our way down, I want you to bend the knees. And just make your way, put hands behind to steady yourself. And just make your way down onto your mat. So again, you can use your cushions, you can have a blanket if you need a blanket, but putting yourself into a position which is beneficial to you. So you can start with your, you can finish as you started in a Shavasana, with arms and legs away from the body, keeping the ankles loose and flopping to the side, palms facing the sky. You also have an option to draw the heels towards the butt, allow the ankles to fall and just float into your goddess pose. Just really doing what you feel the body needs, listening to the body. So relaxing the face, allowing the eyes to sink that little bit further into the back of the head. Allow the tongue perhaps to fall away from the roof of the mouth. Perhaps tucking the shoulder blades that little bit closer together. Maybe moving the cushion to underneath the legs if you feel that's what the body is wanting, or putting a cushion into your head. And just perhaps noticing subtle differences to how you feel now to how you did when you first came to your practice. If you're somebody that finds it very difficult to switch off, you can always repeat: I am balanced, I am centered, I am peace. So when you're ready, in your own time, just allowing the chime to flow and vibrate through your body. Slowly, slowly starting to move fingers and toes intuitively. Come to still. When you're ready, start to draw the legs together. If you're obviously in a goddess pose, drawing the legs together and drawing them into the belly to release. And then when you're ready, coming into a morning stretch, so allow the arms to float behind you, draw the legs together. And again, just really inviting that space. Hopefully you've invited space alignment and sort of energized your spine. When you're ready in your own time, let's inhale. Let's exhale, let's float the arms very gently over the torso, making the arms float down in your own time. When you're ready, start to draw the knees into the belly. And then maybe taking a turn, maybe rocking from side to side very gently. Again, just massaging the kidneys, the adrenals. In your own time, come onto your right side and just make your way up to a seated, comfortable pose. Sit tall, reach through crown, reach through sternum. Bring your hands into a prayer, so thumbs are making gentle contact with heart center. I am centered. I am balanced. I am peace. Namaste. So thank you for allowing me to lead you in your practice. Hope you have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, whatever you've got planned. Thank you very much.